there's not good or bad foods. Everything is okay in moderation. Focus on your protein, focus on whole healthy foods, and just eat what your body's telling you to eat. We're so good.
So good. We got this.
Okay, you guys ready? Taylor's ready? Are the cameras on? They are?
Cameras on, mic's on, mixer on.
You want to know why you should feel special?
Why?
I put perfume on for you. When you come over, I go.
It does, like, I will say it kind of like gets you ready for the day.
I know.
Like, you're like, okay, my perfume's on. I'm ready to go.
Well, because usually by this time I've sweat through plenty of meetings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to like have a little refreshment.
You want to know a secret?
What?
I really don't wear deodorant. Like,
Okay, well,
I haven't worn deodorant in, maybe occasionally I'll put like deodorant on, like if I'm just feeling it, but on a daily basis, I don't wear deodorant.
would you say you're a sweater? Like,
Yeah.
are you really?
Like, I mean, like not in like workout situations. Like I don't like get drenched, but in
social settings?
and podcast settings, like, yeah. But I don't, have you ever smelled me? Mm-mm. See, that's the thing. Like, I really don't think I have like bad BO, but I will say my body odor changed after going off the pill.
Like in a good way or a bad way?
Bad way. I think it's more womanly now. Like I actually do notice, like, I'm like, does my vagina smell funky this time of the month? Or do I have BO? Like, I can't really tell. I can't pinpoint it yet, but my odor has changed. So that's quite interesting.
I would say though, like when it starts getting warmer like this, like we just went running around outside at Gray's this past weekend, and I like came home, went to bed, and I like had my arms up kind of, and like Jordan was cuddling me, and he goes, "Why don't you go rinse off?" And I go, I go, "What?" And he goes, "Why don't you go rinse off?" And he tapped me in the back, and I'm like, I went like this in my armpit. I'm like, oh, it does kind of stink a little.
And then you say, okay, you better be eating my pussy after this.
Oh,
then.
shit.
That's all I'm saying.
So that's all I'm saying.
Why does he care that much then?
I know, and I'm like, okay, I guess it's Easter. So I went in, I scrubbed it up a little bit.
I love how we like never know how to start an episode, and then we just are like, okay, we're talking about body odor all of a sudden. That's just how it goes.
This is how it goes. And I don't know how we do it, but we just do it.
Anyways.
Anywho, that's all I have to say. A quick reminder, you guys, can you please go right now, actually, and go like review and rate our podcast on Spotify and Apple? That would be extremely helpful. Like seriously, truly, if you haven't done it on both, please do it for us.
We need to get 1,000 ratings on Spotify, and because like it needs to match up to our Apple podcast. So go to Spotify, give us some stars, and then also please tell your friends. If you enjoy the podcast, y'all send it their way. Send your favorite episode. Just be like, hey, have you listened to this? Podcast sharing is caring, bro.
We got stuff. All right. We got stuff to share. Okay. Love you guys.
Okay.
Also, wait, we have pretty good Straight Cannon moments coming up, right?
Yeah. Straight Cannon moments of the week, baby.
Let's go. I can't sing. Oof.
Ooh, want me to go?
Yeah, you should go. Because all I can see is butt cheeks. And I'm just like,
do you know what it is?
No.
Oh. You know what it is.
Oh my God. How could I forget that little eye staring right back at me like this?
I tried not to give too much details, but I was like, she's going to know right away. I knew
right when you said, do you know?
Me and Syd went to our weekly, monthly, we love a little Go Glow here and there.
Oh my God, my pits are sweating now.
They have a few locations around. They do really good spray tanning, natural, feels good, looks good. And I get them a lot. Recently, I've been getting them often. So it's been kind of building up in my crevices.
Your crevices.
Last time I noticed, I already talked to them about this too, because they're like, yeah, it probably just like built up from your previous tans.
I'm scared.
So last time I decided I don't know what made me do this, honestly, but I was in the room and I was checking my spray tan out after, and I bent over and literally opened up my butt cheeks and checked my butthole. And there was, so it was like tan around my butt, and then there's like this pale ring, and then right along my butthole again was like more tan. So it looked so funny, and I'm like, thank God, like thank God I have a boyfriend that's like, that will just laugh at this, and like I'm not going for like a one night stand hookup because I'd be mortified.
Oh my God.
But I literally was like, I have to show Syd this, and there's no other way to like explain it. So like, you guys can't even picture it. I wish I could show you my bumhole, but I can't. So we're out in the parking lot, and I'm like, Syd, I have to show you something.
I literally could not.
She's like, well, how are you going to show me your butthole right now? I open up my car door in the middle of this lot and bend over and just give Syd an eye-opening experience.
Eye-opening. I had an eye looking at me, literally with its weird little crevices. And I go, oh God.
You
couldn't.
died laughing.
I cracked up.
You were like on the ground.
And then I texted her and I said, that's just glued in my brain forever. Like it's like permanent.
4 hours later, I see a text from Syd and it's like, I can't get that image out of my head.
It was like looking at like a dark hole. It was like looking at like that was the devil himself, like making eye contact with me, like warning me of something. I'm like, oh my God. So it's Butthole and I are pretty close friends now.
I showed Pat right when I got home and he laughed too.
Did he laugh?
Yeah.
Okay,
he
good.
Thought it was funny as hell.
I know. Jordan goes, you're really tan. I'm like, yeah, I know. And then I got my eyebrows done the next day and they're always dark, like for like 1-ish day. I looked like a character.
He's like, what's going on with you?
No, he literally goes, why do you do that? Stop doing that. I'm like, no, just wait a day. I'm going to look great. Just wait. And now, of course, I look great. I'm great.
That's what happens with girl, like, when you get those services done, like eyebrows, tan, like the next day, it's usually like, oh shit, what did I do? And then you're like,
and then I look good. But the first morning you wake up after your tan, you're like, whoa, I'm dark.
What do you use to tan yourself usually if it's not like going to Go Glow?
I actually stopped using a lot of the stuff. Yeah. To be honest, I was using Isle of Paradise or whatever for a while. I don't really love it. I was using Bondi Sands, I think it is called, or Tanology.
Yeah.
The spray.
Yep.
But I haven't done it in a while just because my psoriasis is so bad. So Margot told me like put on lotion before the Go Glow lady. She's like, put on the lotion before the lotion. It should stay. Help. And I was like, okay. I'll try that next time.
Yeah.
You
also travel enough so you can get a little sun.
Yeah,
I'm like translucent. So
no, you're not.
Yeah. So
you look good.
We need to lay out on Thursday.
Okay. We're going to lay out on Thursday. Okay. We're moving our meeting so we can be outside because it's literally 80 degrees in Minnesota. So I'm freaking hyped.
Don't know how this happened. Yeah. We have to clear our schedule on Thursday. If it is the first good week of summer in Minneapolis with sun, all I'm saying is you shouldn't have to work. You shouldn't have to go to your job. You shouldn't have to go to your schools. Everything should be canceled and we should all be able to enjoy the weather. Like, I'm not kidding you.
Thank you. And you know what?
Serious.
They should give us a week off and then you can just like do whatever you want. This is so random, but did you know that Canada gets a year off when they have a baby? I just like thought of that because they get time off and someone told me that the other day and I'm like, are you kidding me?
A lot of other countries have a lot of time off. Don't you get was it called sabbaticals?
Yeah.
In like Europe where you just every year you get like 3 months or some shit.
Okay. Yeah,
like,
no, totally.
Cool.
I get like 3 days and I'm eye twitching on the way back because I'm like, I should have done emails. I love your straight can of moment because I love your butthole.
Thanks.
For me, let's see. How do I start? Okay, well, this is actually funny because it was Easter. Taylor, you and mom were on the way over to our house. And we were pulling up to the light and he's like, check where they are. I think this is them.
What?
So Jordan and I were driving back home and there's like a light that you go through that they were to cross paths. And I'm like, oh my God, it's my mom's car. Like it actually is them. And so I'm trying to pull up the where you guys are. I have their locations. And Jordan's like, no, it's literally them. I can tell. He stops in the middle of the stoplight.
Oh no.
Looks out the window, points at them both like this, 2 fingers like, and like goes like, yeah, makes a weird face. And then we keep driving. Finally, it loads. It was not Taylor and my mom. This poor woman and her daughter literally probably thought we were like out to get them. Like it was just so, I was like, oh my God, I'm cringing all the way home. Cause he just literally, he's like pointing double fingered at them. He's like, like what the hell? I'm like,
I see you.
He goes, oops. I'm like, no, that was weird. They probably think they have somebody out to get them for no reason.
God.
Poor little mom and daughter. So anyway, that was one little candid moment.
Oh my gosh.
We ran around Gray's.
Yeah, we did.
So much fun. I stayed up way too late. I ended up at the Loop, which I said, that was like one of those places I said like, oh my God, I'm never going to go there. Yeah, well, I went there.
Wow.
And
I ended up at Jack's.
I know. I got lots to say about Jack's, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But it was a good reminder. This is so dumb. But like Jordan picked me up from the bar. Okay, people, so relax on this. But I was like getting attention a little bit. And I'm like, that's a good reminder that like, just because I've been taken for 2.5 years doesn't mean I'm like a little gremlin in the corner. You know what I mean?
You were
like
getting attention
a little bit. Like I was like, so I do look good.
You're like, that's like, a little validating though.
I'm like, I don't actually care, but it was just like a good reminder that you're not like a rat. And obviously right away you're like, I have a boyfriend. And they're like, cool, nice. On to the next. Or they were just actually trying to be a friend. But it was like a nice reminder that I'm not a little rat. So I'm like in the corner. Like
I'm not a rat.
Because usually I have always, when I go to the bars, I'm just dancing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to
Having a
dance
great time.
I just freaking crunk. I don't care if no one else is dancing. I just dance the whole time. It's so fun. Not with people. I literally do it on my own.
Literally at Gray's, no one was dancing.
I know.
And I found I found a pole. You guys.
Oh, I saw you doing that.
And I can't stop. I was having so much fun.
It
My
was so
shoes were
fun.
dirty, but yeah, back to the
dirty.
being hit on. It is hard to explain, but like, even if you have a boyfriend or whatever, it's nice to be like, oh, like someone thinks you're cute and they respectfully hit on you.
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't like weird. It wasn't touchy. It wasn't creepy.
We enjoy that every now and then. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, it was just a reminder because then I'm like, and then Jordan came pick me up and he's like, hey, I'm like, oh my God, I love that I get to come home with you. I'm like, hi.
Okay. Do you ever tell your boyfriend that you were hit on?
No, usually somebody else probably does. They're like, Syd was getting a lot of attention. They're like, I'm like, great. Thanks for that. That'll be a convo later.
Fuck, there's another. Oh, second question. Have you ever chatted with Jordan about like, okay, if a guy hits on me, am I allowed to get a free drink? Have you ever asked him?
No. I don't know.
Would you ask him?
No.
Because you know his answer?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, yeah, I kind of want a free drink today.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I would never do anything inappropriate. It doesn't matter. And also, literally right away when people ask, if it seems like they're being a little too flirty, then you just are honest right away. You're like, oh, okay. You're not trying to be my friend.
Well, and I bet you kind of just trust your own judgment. Like, if I'm going to get a drink, I'm going to get a drink from this person.
Also, it'll be my guy friend, not like some creepy. But I will say, weirdest thing happened. 2 things. One, shout out Colleen. She came up to me. She was hilarious. Her boyfriend made her come up. She goes, and she's probably mad at me for even saying that, but she's like, that's Syd, go. He's like, go say hi. And she goes, hi, I'm Colleen. I'm a big fan of the podcast. It was so cute.
I love it.
I was like, oh my God, you made my day. And she was so excited. Like, she's like, I'm nervous. I'm sorry. I'm like, you don't need to be nervous. I'm like, we're normal people. And then all of a sudden, I'm jolted into Colleen, like hard. And I literally have 2 little arms wrapped around my body like this. Like someone jolted into me and little arms. And then they go, oh my God. And I'm like, sorry, Colleen, I just like fell into you. And I turned around, this girl's like got my arms underneath like this. And there's a girl behind her grabbing onto her friend. She's like, let go of her, stop. And they pull her away. And Colleen was like, did you know her? And I'm like, no, I have no idea who that is. And I turned to the friend. She's like, I'm so sorry. She thinks you're attractive. We can't really control her right now. She literally just like jumped onto me like I was like a tree. Like literally somebody like jumps on me, like on my arms. Yes. It was the weirdest thing.
That's how we hit on people now, I guess.
I guess apparently that's how people are hitting on me. And I'm like, oh no, that was weird. It was so weird. And everyone was standing there. There was like 20 people that saw it and we're all just like, okay. I'm like, maybe you should bring your friend home now. Maybe you should bring your girlfriend home now. Yeah. Maybe don't let them get to that point. Maybe not that you let people get to a point, but you know what I mean? Listen, when you're at the bar, and there's a friend that you came with and you're close to them, you kind of got to just be the bigger person and bring them home if they're being too cray-cray. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or I hate when that happens, but it happens.
Or like have the bouncer get them a ride and say, keep track of this lady.
Can you watch this girl out here? I'm going back in. I'm kidding.
Before horrible. I go out with my friends, if there was a girl that is usually sloppy, I would be like, who's going to be your babysitter? Because it's not me. So who are you bringing? I would never, ever. And I would say like, also, I just want to let you know, like, make sure you have other people because I will be Irish goodbying. And I tell people that every time because guess what? Smart. Every time I do it. What did I do this weekend? I Irish goodbye. But this was the first time I actually felt kind of guilty for it, to be honest.
I know you did just like skirt alert. And then I saw it in the group chat. I'm like, she's skirted.
Sorry, guys. But no, it was, okay, this is why I left because the sun was shining. It was, I think, 7 p.m. And so gorgeous. I got a drink. And for some reason, it just like wasn't tasting good. And I was like, I think I'm like, at like a spot where I'm like, I feel like good, like a little tipsy, you know, but not enough. Yeah, it was vibey. The sun was coming down. And I had that feeling where you just want to like, do you ever get the feeling where you just want to go walk or run when you're drunk a little bit? Like, let's go for a little walk.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I wanted to go by myself. And I wanted to walk home from Jack's in the good weather. And I wanted to smile and hum my way back to my condo. And that's exactly what I did. I said, I'm going to the bathroom and I walked all by myself and it was just it was beautiful.
What a dream.
I was like singing a little to myself and I was like looking at the sun and I had a little strut and I was like, yeah.
And then didn't you stop at Sex World on your way home? Yeah.
No.
Just kidding.
I went to walked into my bedroom.
Oh my God.
No, I'll be honest. I was like don't touch me. I need to eat a burrito right now. Turn on the TV.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, I'm too hungry. I'm like, I need to eat something.
I know I was starving, so I just had a burrito and we watched a movie in bed.
Ooh,
but
God,
yeah,
I'm hungry for
so
dinner.
excited for this weather. It does, like I said in my story, sunny. We aren't used to this in Minnesota, so it just makes us want to like binge drink and go to frat parties. So
Literally,
that's what we had to do last weekend. So I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I just become a twerker when it gets nice out. I'm like, oh my God, I can throw it back. I love it.
All of a sudden, I'm like the best dancer ever.
I am. I'm like, oh wow, I look good. No, I don't.
Too good. Let's get into it.
Let's get into the topic. We're talking a few things today, but really, truly, we're got to talk about something to start. Almond moms. And I didn't even know what an almond mom was like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I was just gonna say a lot of people actually don't know what it is. And I honestly thought everyone knew what it was, but then I was explaining it to our friend Callan the other week because I was like, one of our next topics, like we want to talk about almond moms. She's like, what? Almond moms?
What is almond mom?
And I explained it to her, which we will in just a second. But a few weeks later, she texts me and she goes, wait, what are those moms called that eat nuts? She goes, nutty moms, nut jobs, nut moms.
Callan?
Oh,
she kills me.
I was dying laughing. I'm like, no, they're almond moms, but they are nutty.
They are a little nutty, let me tell you.
What's an almond mom?
Well, should I say by my definition or do you have the definition written down?
Yeah, say your definition. Then I'll kind of bring it in with like TikTok and all
I was going to say, because there's some things I pull, but an almond mom basically is a mom who I would say accidentally, probably because it's probably likely not on purpose, pushes their old generational bad habits on eating
toxic diet
culture onto their kids. Basically is the gist of what it is. So
this person on TikTok kind of, I wouldn't say started it because I think it originally started with Gigi Hadid and her mom. What's her mom's name?
Oh my God. What's her name?
Whatever. Gigi Hadid's mom. You think about it for
Yolanda.
a second. Yolanda. So it started with this scene from, the Housewives, whatever the hell that show is.
Yes. Oh, whatever the hell. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, please.
And she calls her mom. Gigi calls her mom. She's like, Mom, I'm starving. Like, I just feel weak. And her mom's like,
faint.
She's like, just eat an almond. Like, just chew it. She goes, just chew it really well and you'll be good. Just like, okay, I had half an almond this morning, but I guess I'll have 2 more. So that's kind of where it started. And this girl made a TikTok. Tyler.Bender with 2 R's is the TikTok name, but she has a lot of videos about almond moms.
Yeah.
So, an almond mom is overbearing about what the daughter eats, Bender explains. She's obsessed with food and diet culture. And in one video, she poses as like an almond mom and asks her child if she's really hungry or just bored. In another, she sets out Halloween candy, then slaps away a hand grabbing for some. This is for decoration, she snaps.
Oh my
so
God.
like thinking of like Halloween, like, nope, decoration only. And then another video, this is the one that really went viral. I think it was like 4 million views. It's the mother slicing a piece of pizza in half and overlaying it, the text says, when you're half an almond mom a day wants a slice of pizza. And they cut the pizza in the smallest little, and that's her slice of pizza.
It's like a little tiny slice. Like, here you go, guys. I want 3 slices, and it's literally equivalent to like 1/2 of a piece. And you're like, okay, that'll fill me up.
And that's when I got flashbacks.
Oh, and that's when the flashbacks started literally flashing before my eyes.
Okay, what was your experience?
Well, here's the thing I'd like to start with is 2 things. Obviously, we're talking about food. So if this is not your space, like trigger warning, obviously, right? Because we're going to talk about dieting and food because of this. 2 is I saw somebody write this. I don't think they're not meant to be harmful people. Like, their mom's trying to do the best job that they can. So I'm just saying that now because I am going to roast a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, they are doing the best that they can and they don't really realize what they're doing. Right. Yeah. Usually. Right. And there's in situations where it's really harmful and they're doing it on purpose, but with that because it is a good thing, but
we cannot blame them really because like they grew up with the Special K diet, the hair and chic aesthetic. Oh my God, the
Special K diet
and fad diet. Some of our mothers were also on like speed diet pills in the 90s. Yep. And thinking about it, this was also before like eating disorder, disordered eating was really talked about. If you really look back into it, like I guarantee a lot of our moms now probably had disordered eating / eating disorders. Now we're just all on social media explaining our experience, but like this was before everyone knew that everyone else had the same issue.
Oh, yeah.
And not even to say almond moms only, like from my experience, like it could also be just parents in general.
Yeah. Both.
Like both of them. And yeah, it's maybe a little bit more because your mom is raising you typically. I mean, hopefully this is changing, but like the mom was the one taking care of you and your dad was the one working. The mom's grocery shopping, the mom's doing that kind of thing. But like you can have an almond dad, you can have an almond grandma, you can have an almond sister, you can have almond friends, and you can have a lot of almonds. Okay.
Yes. There's a lot of almonds all over the place.
Yeah.
No, I think talking about our experiences with it, let's just start there because I feel like that makes the most sense. So I would say the big ones that I remember is obviously like you can't you can't have dessert. It's bad it's bad for you. So you can only have a little bit or like one little scoop or like limit your dessert or like only one cookie. I had weird ones. I think our dad probably because he would always like push protein powder on us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like when we were younger, Taylor remembers that he would force us to eat bananas when we didn't want to eat bananas. Like I'm like, I do not want to eat a banana. Like I literally could gag. And he's like, no, you're going to eat the banana.
Portion control starting.
It was more like you have to eat the banana if you want to have a piece of toast with Nutella on it. It was weird though because it would go in like ebbs and flows because then some nights we would all have Jack's Pizza and Cokes. So it was like, wait, what happened there? How did that go? Because they were both ebbing and flowing. But I wrote down,
especially bodybuilders like your dad.
Yes,
like a lot of times they go through, I'm just thinking of fat, but like they'll go through like a 3-month diet, because they're working towards something or they're on like a cut, and then they can go into like a maintenance phase where then they can all of a sudden eat a little more or something different, and they're going off their meal plan. So I bet you kind of did the same thing with your dad.
Probably
or your
an accident. Yeah. Or like my mom would, like she'd be like, I overate so much today. I had so many nuts today. And I'm like,
I had 3 nuts.
Taylor knows. And we love her to death, by the way. Yeah. Like this is just like, and this sucks that this
Same
was a habit for her.
Yeah.
I'm so full. I had yogurt and granola. It's like, okay. Just like shit. Like I'm so bad. I had a piece of toast. Like, it's just like, it was so much of like the good food and the bad food and like the shouldn't have that. I got the bored. Are you eating what's it called? Are you hungry or you're just bored?
I got the bored.
I got the bored one. I'm like, what am I saying? This one was interesting because remember how they used to say like, finish your plate. But like, don't eat too much. Like, don't order too much. Finish your plate. It's like, wait, which one is it? I remember being so confused by that when I was younger. I'll start with those because I kind of listed like some hot ones that I feel like I'll remember as you go. What are yours?
I have a lot of similar ones. Ours was definitely portion, like just like you said. So after dinner, our family would always have, like, this was our dessert every night. Get ready.
Wait, what?
A small piece of dark chocolate after dinner.
We had that too.
And I couldn't have 2 pieces. I had 1 small piece of dark chocolate. There was nights where we would have like ice cream nights or like my mom made cookies and things like that. But it was definitely like, you get 1 cookie here. You have like, I was always very controlled. Like the tedious scoop of ice cream. Like I remember when we'd have ice cream, I would have my little bowl and we'd get 1 scoop. Okay. And I remember going to friends' houses and I'd get ice cream in this big bowl and I'm like, oh my God, you're going to eat all of this ice cream? I was shocked. So I was like, oh my God, I always got to go to my friends and eat their ice cream. My mom, I remember her going through like a little bit of cleanses, like her 7-day meal replacement things.
Oh my God.
And her not eating lunch and drinking her meal replacement things. Even if she didn't say, my mom never outwardly, if I like really think back to it, I never heard her talk about her weight. Actually, I'd never heard her like, really talk about her diets, but it's not only words. Like it was a lot of actions, I think too. Like you pick up on so many more things that you don't even realize you're picking up on when you're younger, even when you're young, but when you're older and you know what's happening still, obviously. Something that's very normalized in our house still to this day is whenever we make burgers, which we do often, like my dad loves grilling. Yeah. My mom always cuts hers in half and my dad is now cutting his in half. And so I'm used to going over there and eating more than both my parents combined. Even like right now, like I'm like, can I have a full burger? Like, why am I feeling guilty for eating what I literally like want a full burger? But like, I remember the day where I was like, oh, maybe I should cut my burger in half. So like all through high school, okay, I guess I'll cut my burger in half. And then I'm like fucking starving an hour later. I'm like,
you're like, wait, I'm still hungry.
Can I have the other half? Like,
can I have that back?
What? Yeah, so what I go through now, like I still get that guilt when I'm like, I'll take a full burger or can I go for seconds? Like, I'm going to go for seconds even though no one else in this house does. Or I always kind of feel guilty when I go to my parents' house a little bit hungry. And right when I get there, I want to see what snacks or leftovers they have. Snacks. And I'm like, I don't want them to like judge me for like wanting to eat right away because it's not a meal time or something.
My parents always judge me for that. They always do.
And then having like a snack before dinner. Like even if we're doing like a family trip and we're like not eating dinner till 7, I'm like, I need food right now. Like I just need something. Like I don't care what it is. I just need something, or else I will literally eat the entire restaurant. I don't want to do that. Why can't I just eat something now?
I know.
And so like now they can't really say shit. I'm like, I'm gonna eat what I want. But like when I was little, it was I got home from school and I'm starving. My mom was like, you can have one little snack.
Yeah, like one little snack before dinner.
I just did soccer. Like I was walking around all day. Like I want a meal. I want a meal and I want a meal when you make dinner. Okay. I want 2 meals.
I totally get the meal thing. Even if it's like 2 or 3 and they're like, don't eat you're going to ruin your appetite. Don't eat before dinner. And I go, when have I ever ruined my appetite?
I know. I'm like, I'm still going to eat it.
And they're like, you always amaze me how much you eat. It's amazing how much, like they always would say those things because I am hungry all the time.
Or my mom would always say, she still does this. Oh my gosh. So
wait, I thought you were saying she's saying that. I'm like, well, what'd you do? What?
So like if we're out to dinner with a group of people and I'm like chowing down, she'll be like, oh yeah, she'll tap Pat on the arm. Like this was when I first started dating Pat. Isn't she just a garbage disposal?
Oh God.
Like, doesn't she just eat? She eats. And Pat's like, and I've told Pat all my history and he always is like, I mean, yeah, like she eats, like, and he is always really like chill in the response, but like, bro, like I just don't eat like an almond mom. You know what I mean?
I don't eat like an almond mom either. And I'm like, and that's okay. It is hard because there's a very fine line between like the nutrition and like dieting and almond mom. You know what I mean? Like there is a separation because yes, you do not want a child to be overweight or obese. You don't want that.
So how do we, this is what else I was like, how do we bring this up is how do we talk to our kids about food then? If you're not like, okay, well, I get what you're saying, but like, how do you keep your kid healthy? How do you not let them just eat free range on ice cream?
I know.
And this is what me and Pat were talking about today.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
No, go. Okay, you can go say what you're going to say.
I remember learning this in my dietetics class in college, but one reason being is when we're growing up and doing the whole like good or bad foods like you were talking about,
yes,
the kid knows the bad foods is bad. So they want to overeat them. They are like, oh my God, that's a bad food.
Well, so it's a classic situation of them wanting to do what they can't do.
Yeah,
it's
so
like
I want to sneak. I either have to sneak the food or you have to eat it at my friend's house. So in my dietetics class, we learned that when you're at the dinner, you put out your cookie along with the rest of the meal. Okay. Oh. So the kid can eat the cookie first if he wants. The kid can eat the, pasta dish that you made first. But they don't know, like, you don't get to eat that unless you eat this. Oh. And some days you'll notice, like there's experiments done. Some days you'll notice the kid eating the cookie, half the pasta and the salad. Some days you'll notice the kid eating the salad and the pasta doesn't even touch the cookie.
Interesting, because they don't crave it.
They don't even know there's good or bad. So labeling it good or bad is like definitely not what to do.
It's the worst thing you can probably do too. And I remember learning good foods and bad foods. You know what I would do? I would have weird little episodes, and I remember these. I would go in with a spoon and hide in the pantry and eat spoonfuls of powdered sugar. Then I would also eat a whole container of sprinkles. Dude. And then I would eat all of the little like cake labeler, like it says like happy and then another one says birthday. They're like giant sprinkles basically, but you set them on a cake, usually letters. You just ate all of them.
You had an ingredient household. Do you know what this is?
No.
Now you get what it is.
Wait. No, sorry. Now we're going off of the tangent.
That's okay. I'll go back to the kid thing. Okay. But an ingredient household. A lot of us with almond moms grew up with ingredient households. And by what your snacks were, you had a fucking ingredient household.
What does that mean? What does it mean?
It's just like you had, like your snacks were like chocolate chips because you would have you have to make that into a cookie, right? Yes. Your snack was cheese because you put that on your whatever lasagna. Oh. Your snacks were maybe, I don't know, like little mini marshmallows because they were in like a dish of some sort. Or your snacks were olives in the fridge, condiments. They were stuff that went into making something bigger rather than actual snacks. For like, oh, I'm hungry. Can I have a snack?
I think when I would be hungry, I would literally just eat the cookie that my mom made and sneak them, or I would make a peanut or a piece of bread with Nutella on it. I think that was honestly it. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't want, maybe I had cuties, but it's because I knew they were good for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, go back to the food thing.
Another way to talk to your kids about food. So yeah, do not label food good or bad. Give your kids options. And that's kind of what I explained. Like having more than one thing to choose from absolutely will help. Get them involved in like the cooking process. I think even just showing kids like how you make things and like, yeah, you can make cookies, but like a lot goes into it. You don't want to eat them all in one sitting because you made them all. Like you want to you want to savor it and whatever. Model a healthy relationship with food, like we were saying, not only with words but with actions as parents. And then trust them to eat. What's cool is like kids are so intuitive with eating. They know
their body. Like
kids literally, if you watch them eat, they won't finish their plate. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. They'll, right?
That was Taylor growing up the whole time.
Yeah, literally I would never finish my food and I would sit at the table for like 2 hours and everyone else would be watching TV and they would tell me, you have to finish your plate before you can get up. And I would just, it was like a struggle for me. And I was like the opposite of you. And I wonder, I'm trying to think, what do you think they could have done differently to make that?
You also aren't supposed to tell your kids to finish your plate.
Yeah.
Because kids know how hungry they are.
Well, I do actually think though that you probably were snacking before dinner, like, and filling up on cookies, but they were like, then maybe we were saying you can't have cookies, but then you knew that you couldn't have cookies unless you finish your plate. So then you wouldn't finish your plate. So you ate the cookies before dinner because you were all messed up. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say because again, it's like, I don't want my kids to have bad habits. I'm going to do my best to talk about it in a positive way, but I also don't want them eating 7 cookies before dinner.
Yeah.
Or you're going to learn the hard way. You're going to get a stomach ache and you're not going to get any good food and you're going to feel like crap.
What I've seen some parents do, which I don't know if I love or hate it, or I think this is, if I had a kid tomorrow, like this is what I would probably do, is have like a designated snack, area for them, maybe in the fridge and then also like in the pantry of like things that they like probably some granola bars, some cuties, like some jerky and lunch meat maybe in the fridge, like Go-Gurts, whatever the hell kids like, you know, and like things that obviously aren't like, you're not going to have your cookies and whatnot, but if they're hungry, they can
free range to it.
Free range to that. You get to pick it, you get to open it, you get to peel the orange, like have fun with it. I've seen like the little mini kitchens for kids to help like cut their bananas. Like that's a really good process to get your kid into. That's then cute. I probably would serve dessert every dinner. I think that's probably a good idea and just put it out with everything else.
I would just do like a little platter. Like that's what I want to do because that's what I do at home. Also, like it's okay to eat late. It's like I remember that was like not really like, you know what I mean? Like it was kind of like, oh, you can't eat so late. You know what I mean? Why are you eating right now?
Like a bedtime
you know
snack, you mean?
And I have bedtime. Like last night, I ate at like 10 again.
Yeah.
Because I was hungry. Yeah. It doesn't happen all the time, but it was a weird day of eating. I ate like a huge meal at like 2 p.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like didn't really have that big of a breakfast before. So then I was like, I'm hungry at 10. Yep. It's all messed up. So just being okay with that. Do we want to talk about if we are almond momming ourselves? Like just like, are we almond moms like with our habits? Because I don't know. It is kind of weird because I've gotten into nutrition lately a lot, like supplements that are actually like from a nutritionist that are really, really good for you. But then again, I was fine before them. And I don't know if my parents take all of them. They take some supplements, but I'm like, they're fine. So I'm always like, wait a minute, am I obsessing? But I say no because I can afford it right now. And so like I'm on an okay spot and I try not to do the ones that are outlandish. Have you heard of Bryant Johnson? He's a guy that reversed his age. Like literally, like, and not actually, but like internally, like his body is reversed. He's a Benjamin Button. He looks really small. No, he literally like basically like went obsessive mode, spent $2 million over the last year trying to get into the best, healthiest version of him. And he reversed his age by like 5 years. Yeah. Cool. Like it's pretty insane.
What's it called when you get your age tested? Like biological age or something?
It starts with a B, I'm pretty sure, but I can't remember what it is. But it was just like, and then I started reading about it and I started getting a little obsessive of it. I'm like, I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to order spirulina and all these things. And I went to my coworker who's a nutritionist and she's like, you do realize you're doing a really good job where you are right now. Yeah. Like don't start a habit if it's not sustainable. And also like those are the nutrients that you need daily. I'm not necessarily trying to be reversing my age. Like I don't necessarily need that, nor do I have all the pieces. I can't afford it. All the pieces that people do every day. He's literally living to do that and has people backing his stuff. Like, so I'm like, it's not realistic. So anyway, backing up, but I just wanted to say that because there are like weird people out there preaching things that you're like, okay, that's an extremist. You know what I mean?
Even almond momming as simple as like chewing gum,
broth,
chewing gum because you don't want to eat a snack or saying something like, am I hungry or am I bored? Or it's just like little comments. Like it's just toxic diet culture that we've, you know, been passed down to from our mom and dad. And a lot of these people with almond moms, like I will say, like I went through a disordered eating phase in my life. I've had some really good friends who reached out to me today because I told them we're talking about this topic, who are like, I'm still dealing with my eating disorder because of this. Like it's hard to kind of get out, but talking about this almond mom thing, which just sounds kind of funny.
It
is
sounds
like
hilarious.
But like this is generational trauma that's passed down that we do have to break. But you got to be careful with yourself, almond momming yourself, but also almond momming, the people around you.
Your friends, your siblings, Taylor even, like my sister. It's weird. Or like Jordan even. Like I'm trying to like practice those habits. Like truly, I've been mindful of this. I think I told you this, of like, Jordan will be like, is this a good food or a bad food? I'm like, there's not good or bad foods. Everything is okay in moderation. Like focus on your protein, focus on whole healthy foods, and just eat what your body's telling you to eat. Like, you know what I mean? And listen to your body. Like that's truly how it is. But
I love that.
Even the things I'm hearing of like people saying like, you need to do beef broth in the morning. Like you have to.
Bone broth,
whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I like beef broth better,
beef.
but beef, bone broth. Yeah, you're right.
It can be chicken or beef. Yeah.
I like the beef one. And it's like, I asked the nutritionist because I'm like more the person, I need to understand logically. I can't just be like, oh, that doesn't make sense. I don't believe in it. It's like, I have to ask somebody who knows. I'm like, oh, is this true or not? And they're like, I mean, it's good if you're trying to get more protein in.
Yeah.
Especially if you do like your couscous in beef broth, like beef bone broth, it's delicious.
Yeah.
But she's like, but it doesn't matter. Like if you're doing it first thing in the morning, like, yes, you should get protein in you, but like, she's like, it's not really like it doesn't really mean anything.
And that's the other almond mom is like Gwyneth Paltrow. That interview that she had where she was like, I wake up, I have a tea, I go for a walk, and I have bone broth, and I have bone broth for lunch. So that's the other thing is like we feel guilty for wanting to drink bone broth because it's deemed as an almond mom behavior. But if you add it to your diet, like you're saying, it's not like you're like having your bone broth in replacement of your breakfast. You're having that because you want a little more collagen, you want a little more protein in, you know, it's like,
you also want to shame the healthy habits too, like that we're trying to build. Like I try to actually actively have healthy habits. Like I'm trying to have more protein. I'm trying to eat more greens because greens are hard for me to eat, by the way. Like spinach is hard on my stomach. So like it is really actually hard for me to like
you definitely need to cook it up.
I know. But I'm like, sometimes I do like a salad, but then I feel sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like some of these habits are just like us trying to be better. But then it's like, wait a minute, to what extreme? Like when is it too extreme? Like when you go on a trip and you're like, I can't have the ice cream. Like when your whole family's having like an ice cream date because you're like, that doesn't live within my habits of eating.
I wanted to talk about this.
Really?
About losing weight, but still trying to like be body positive. Sorry, Taylor.
It's okay. I was just going to say with the extreme things, I remember in high school with my two friends, I did a beef stew like challenge and mom helped me make it. Oh. And we bought all the supplies. It was actually a lot of money. And because there was so much stuff in it. And the whole thing was to try to eat it for like 2 weeks straight for every meal. That's so not healthy.
And in high school?
Yes. And I quit after a day because I couldn't do that.
Absolutely.
And
not.
I remember just looking back, that's so bad.
Oh my God.
There's like that cabbage soup diet.
I've heard of that.
That's what it was called, cabbage soup.
You've done that diet?
No, I tried it, but I lasted like one day.
Oh my God, I love it. Mom was helping you with it.
Oh my gosh.
Lord.
I remember my college roommate, my freshman college roommate, literally the first thing, she was like, I'm going on a trip in like, 2 months. She did this like Cliff Bar diet and she was eating like, like 8 Cliff Bars a day. Bars. And I'm like, bro, you're literally eating a surplus. Like,
I was going to say, I'm like, you're getting your cals in,
you're
dog.
Not even... It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. Carbs and cals. Woo! Those things are hefty. You can have one, but don't have 7, You
can have as many as you want, but like that's what's
your goal here? Yeah.
Like what are you doing?
I mean, like,
but that is okay. So that's what I want to talk about because we're both in fitness.
I know
and
it's so
we
hard.
both enjoy being healthy. We both enjoy kind of like trying to hit goals and trying to, who knows, like eat more protein or get stronger in the gym. And for me right now, I was kind of struggling with this topic because I do believe in body positivity. I do believe in, your worth at every body size. But I also coach people to lose weight or gain weight or build muscle. I myself am currently in a cutting phase because I spent 7 months building muscle in a reverse diet, and now I want to show my muscle.
Yeah.
And so I was also talking to my boyfriend, Pat, who is a bodybuilder and manipulates his body in a lot of ways with his diet. And I'm like, how do I talk about this? Like, can you lose weight and love your body at the same time? And I've heard a lot of, answers to this. Like if you've been to therapy for eating disorder, the answer would be no. But my opinion personally, again, all coming from like our own thoughts, but like in short term, I think yes, because it is more complicated than that. And I was talking to Pat and he was like, it all comes back to how you view your body. So he was saying, I don't put my worth in my body. He's like, I find value in a lot of other things with myself. Like I enjoy my job. I make sure I have good relationships. I do it because I enjoy it. And he was saying, he was trying to give me an analogy. And I was like, what if I explained it like this? It's like getting your hair done. You're not any more of a person for getting extensions in, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Or you want to get your hair cut, get a little color in there. That's where it starts and that's where it ends. Your ability to disassociate between the two is very complicated and it will be different for everyone. So depending on like your mental health and like the journey of the process, it's going to be different. Some people can do it and disassociate between losing weight and not associating your worth with your body. And some people can't.
I don't disagree with a thing you said. I just do think it's hard for people that are not in the fitness industry to understand it. And thankfully you're there to help them do that and understand how to make that disconnect and like how to lose it with eating more. Like
doing it the right way.
Yeah, doing it all the right way. So it's like we're kind of lucky that we get to see that.
Yeah.
It even shows you though that like we had eating disorder problems, got into it because we cared. You know what I mean? I think mentally because I wanted to understand too and help other people.
Yep.
But it is hard because like I have people coming after my class and I won't give any more information than that, but they'll just be like, I don't understand. Why am I not losing weight? And I'm like, you're taking a cardio class. How many days a week? Like a hard running class. Like, and you're staying in like a zone 4. How many days a week? Like 5-6 days a week. I'm like, there's your answer right there. You're not even burning in the right zone.
Well,
you got to lift weights. You got to like, I don't know what you're eating. Like they'll give me an eating list usually. 80%, is what they'll bring it up.
You're like, bro, 80% of your weight loss is probably
like, what are you eating
not
at home?
From, yeah.
Well, and I said, usually I'm like, well, are you eating like a constant or do you feel like you like pull back and then, eat more, trying not, figure out what's the issue, binge restrict. Exactly. But I'm not, you never know who's like listening. So you want to be like careful. And when they're asking openly and I'm like, you're having issues like right with that right there. Like you need to get your habits under wraps before you can make assumptions on what to do. It's just hard because they don't see it, like you're like, I can't, I'm like, I don't want to shame you in what you're doing, but you're hurting your body when you eat like that, Do
you think you can love your body and lose weight at the same time?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I think especially because I also was trying to build muscle for a while too. And now I'm like, oh, it's kind of exciting that I missed HIIT a little bit. Like I get to do it now like a day a week or 2 days a week. And I'm like excited to do it like that. And I do love my body because it's really impressive to me that I can weigh almost 150 pounds at what weight I am. And I'll just say that loud because it doesn't matter to me. I'm 5'8".
Trigger warning.
Doesn't matter. Like what? Yeah. Oh yeah, in the past. But I'm like, more than I've ever weighed before, just for my body type and just like what I've grown up with. I weighed like 25 pounds less a while ago. And I feel like I look the strongest that I've ever looked. And I wanted to feel strong. I feel the strongest I've ever looked. I can squat the most I've ever squatted. And it's no longer about when I look in the mirror where I've got a lump or where I've got a little something that bothers me.
Yeah.
And I can say my weight because that was something I used to not be able to say. I used to lie about my weight. So that's why I said it out loud.
Yeah. And like, I love that and proud of you because you look mom, but like,
thanks.
And that's like the thing with losing weight is like, I feel like a lot of people go through this kind of internal battle of wanting to lose weight, but also still wanting to kind of be body positive because it is such like a craze right now. We just had an episode. Oh my God, we just had an episode about that. And it's, I'm sitting there like, I totally get what you're saying, but I'm also like, this is fun for me a little bit. Like I want to see what I can do a little.
Yeah, it's kind of, and you have,
and I know I'm doing it. This is like probably, I've done it twice now, but this is like the second time I've actually gone through a phase of losing weight the right way where I've built my calories up enough that I'm still eating. I'm definitely not an almond mom. I'm still eating 4 meals a day plus my snacks. And it's like, and I'm only doing this, you guys, for 5 weeks. Okay. And then I go back to maintenance.
And you do it because intuitively eating and it feels good. Like you eat because you're like, I'm freaking hungry right now.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm still counting macros, so I don't know if that's intuitive.
Well, but you say you are doing it when you're hungry.
Yeah.
You could say that,
yeah,
right? Like you're like, damn, I want a freaking big burrito right now and I'm going to eat that big burrito. I'll just count the calories or macros, excuse me.
I think you can definitely love yourself and lose weight, but I think there's a fine line and you can easily become obsessive with the losing weight and it can become really dark.
You need timelines.
Yes. And you, with social media, with other things like even Adderall and those things can become abusive. I know I've dealt with that before in the past and it's really hard when you go down that path to get back on track. And I know friends who've dealt with that and just.
It's like when you start seeing results, you are like, oh my God, and it gets more obsessive and more obsessive. So a lot of people deal with that. And that's the first time when I first started losing weight. That was the first time in my entire life that I ever lost weight. I spiraled into my whole eating disorder because it was, oh my God, I'm going to keep going. But like working, I mean, not to like plug, but like working with someone that knows what they're doing, giving you timelines to making sure you're doing it the right way, I think is very key. Cause like, yeah, you don't want to go into a cut for more than, especially if you're not bodybuilding, more than like a 2.5 month cut is almost too much.
Oh yeah. God. Like, I mean, it's just, I feel lucky that we know these things, but it is hard because people don't know them. You know what I mean? Yeah. But okay, well, let's just talk about this really quick. How do you move away from like all of this? Like we are literally trying to like separate generational. I know.
Sorry,
trauma with.
I literally just.
I'm so dripping sweat. You know why? Because I think our air isn't on. Well, I don't think our air is on yet, and it's hot.
My air's on.
Maybe
my air's on.
Yeah, Tay, will you open the window a little bit more?
Speaking.
Wait. Oh my God.
Here's my reverse diet guide.
Wait. Should we actually? Why don't we talk about a few of the listener like write-ins?
Yes.
And then let's talk about how to move away from that and we'll do Stray K in a moment. How's that sound?
Love. Yeah. Listener write-ins for almond moms were crazy. And again, we've already said trigger warning 3 times in this, but some of this is like kind of alarming. Yeah. So we'll start here. Someone said, I wish my mom was an almond mom. She eats seeds because almonds have too much fat for breakfast.
Oh my God. I've heard that one too before. Seriously. I'm going to read this one. Yeah. I had an almond grandma who would rub our stomachs and say, oh, are you sure you want that? Right before we'd eat. That's bad.
No.
Yes.
This one says, okay, what do we think? Well, what do we think about this listener comment? So she says, I'm a mom and my friend straight up told me I was an almond mom and I was pissed. So I want to know your thoughts. Here was the exact scenario. My 7-year-old daughter and I were grocery shopping and she really wanted these birthday cake flavored cookies. So I asked her, what if we bake some type of funfetti cookie together? I was planning to make them a little healthier with less sugar. Am I an almond mom?
I'd probably do the same. I mean, because to be honest, what I'm looking for in the ingredients are really bad chemicals. It's not, that was that fine line that we talked about in the beginning. I'm like, I'm not going to like restrict anybody from eating cookies. I would probably keep the sugar about the same and just make like a home cookie, but I'm trying to move away from eating as many chemicals because of hormone imbalances and different things it causes on our body, especially kids, and inflammation, whatever. But does that make me an almond mom?
I'll say that can also be a little obsessive, and like that's also kind of, some almond moms are like, no chemicals. Like,
well, not no chemicals, but like you can have an Oreo. I don't really care, but like, I'm talking about like the red dyed, like deep fried cookie that like you get at the store, which I'm like, dude, no, we're not having those in my house. Like it just, also they look ill. They look sickly. It's hard because I'm like I said, fine line. Maybe I have a little almond mom in me
because we had
almond moms.
But I agree though. I think like, there's that boundary and
it's hard.
It's hard because like we said before, I think getting your kid maybe involved in the cooking process of you making the cookies could be 1, fun, and 2, I don't remember ever eating a cookie from the grocery store. I probably did. I know I did, either, but I do remember my mom's really good sandwich cookies that I like helped her make a few times. Like those are the memories, you know what I mean? Agreed. So I think there's more into it than just like, okay, like this one has more sugar or we can make it a little healthier, but like getting them involved. And I think, so no, I don't think you're an almond mom. I think if you explained it that way to your friend, she'd be like, oh, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and also like, things homemade taste way better anyway. Like I truly think that they do. Like granted though, there's at Quick Trip, I think it is, there are these little cheese puffs that are literally just bright yellow cheese, like these weird little puffs that are like off brand. I think they look like a Cheeto flavor. I'm like obsessed with them. They're like they're totally processed, like all the things. Oh my God, they're so fire. Oh, so good.
I'll be honest.
On a blue moon, on a road trip, hell yeah.
Yeah, I love processed food.
Yeah, I do too.
On my cut, I eat a lot of
Some
processed food. That's the only way I can lose weight is when I'm doing my cutting phases or whatever. I eat all the food I really fucking love.
Yeah.
I just know how much I'm eating of it.
I genuinely though now, especially with stomach issues, is like I actually love some things that are healthier. Like I crave a homemade cookie instead of you know what I mean? Yeah. So it just depends on listening to your body, you know? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to continue.
These can be quick fire.
I know, sorry. Like. Mom had her tonsils removed and said it was the best weight loss she had ever had.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Yeah. Like getting sick and then being like, oh, I look good. She made me half a sandwich and said, eat half of everything. This is how you lose weight. Eat everything or a lot of nothing.
Oh no. This one says, my aunt said 5 pounds and you're out of that dress for school formal.
Oh my God.
That's so bad, you guys. And she said, I remember because I read this one right off of our listener thing and it said, and my mom didn't slap her. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh. Someone should have stood up.
Hunger is not an emergency.
Oh,
kind of is though. Like you can die.
Yeah, you can. Portion shaming and restricting causing my secret binges. And it says, my friend had an almond mom and we would sneak spoonfuls of sugar and sweets. Okay. Relatable because feel that. Yeah. Those are the ones that I had from listeners that I was like, oh God.
Having multiple people ask me why we had a lot of bio food in our pantry caused me an ED in both myself and my sister.
Yep. What was the other thing? There was one more that I was like, I need to read this. Oh, the hot water with lemon tea for metabolism boosting versus just like giving yourself like a little immune boost.
Yeah.
Like it's not a metabolism booster. It's just like lemon and ginger is good for immunity. And like honestly, if you're sick on a nice like sore throat.
Yeah. And people are like, oh, in the morning I drink it because it gets me like it literally just is drinking water and hydrates you and then you have to poop. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Normal.
And like
a glass of water did the same thing.
Except I do that with water and it works. So anyway, just
almond mom tips and tricks.
Yeah,
I like this. Let's do it.
Oh, those are the ones I read a few of those already.
Did it.
Yeah, I read a few of those at the beginning.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Well, here, so I reached out to Denver from the nutritionist from that episode, and she sent me a few things because I was like, what are your actual thoughts on almond moms? And she was the one that really reminded us too of like, she's like, they are not, so if we get the episode too, they are not like doing it to harm. They're not looking to harm. They're just being human beings. That being said, she said, here are a few things. So she said, 1, if you're hungry, eat. Otherwise it will backfire on you. Like the binge restrict, right? Like eat your food. Number 2, trying so hard to resist food like cookies and pizza are why you obsess. Give yourself permission to eat the things that are quote unquote bad because they're not bad, right? Like that's why you're obsessing. And then 3 was working out is not something to earn food or burn calories. It's you do it to get stronger. She said like that's the number 1 thing that she lives by too now. And she's changed her definition of all the things. And the 4th one, this one wasn't from Denver, but just in general, like unrealistic habits of lifestyle people are not going to be your new habits. Not affordable, not realistic. Do the things that make you feel good and spike serotonin, right? That's how you become more well-rounded, is getting outside, going for walks. People are like, how does that even equate to food? It's like, because when you feel better, you're smiling, you're happy, you give off good energy. The people around you have good energy.
Your hormones get balanced, including cortisol. Your stress hormone goes down because you're not stressed about not eating.
Yes. It's like, it actually is a thing. Like even when you're pretending, like I used to pretend like these simple little things that I avoided just because I was like, well, I don't have time for them. It's like, actually they made me so much healthier. Like the fact that we're like, yep, we're going to move our meeting to tomorrow and we're going to go sit outside on Thursday instead. So we can just have vitamin D on our skin and just like be outside. Like do the things that make you happy. Like get the frick outside, go on walks.
I don't even know if this is like the right episode to bring this up in, but I think it's really interesting because whenever I take someone who's been under eating through like a little bit of a reverse diet, like where they increase their calories slowly throughout like a period of 6 months, like it takes a while, you'll notice that like their weight is more evenly distributed. So instead of having like a lower distended belly, like it kind of just like I wouldn't say like, yeah, your stomach's so flat, but like it distributes your weight more evenly because your like digestion is working better. Your hormones are working better. You probably end up, like looking like you lost weight, even though the scale looks the same. But I'm like, that's just like, it just goes to show that eating more food can really help like your stress hormones too. Yeah. So,
you get migraines when you don't eat, and you get irritable when you don't eat, and then you end up binging and like all these things. So, being just in general, last thoughts on like, how do we stop moving this like pattern forward with like where we go? I would say my takeaways are just going to be like being careful how I speak about food, even with my friends, being like really careful even too, when like a big plate comes out of food and we're like, I'm not saying like, holy shit, are you going to finish all that? Or like saying stuff like that. And trying to be mindful of that, or like, or like the other day, I got at Gray's, I ate a bowl at Avocadish. Shout out, they're like the bomb, at Gray's. And then I went over next door. Everyone was done eating. And I just got a whole bowl of fries and sauce because I was still so hungry.
You're like, I need to eat more.
And I'm like, I need to eat more. And I know, and I was craving fries. When do I ever get fresh cut fries? Never. Literally never. And I was carrying around and people kept being like, whoa, you eating all that? Oh, geez, Al, for you. It's like, I'll share. Yeah. Sure. When do we ever eat this many fries? Never. So I don't really care, actually. And fries are not the ones that are they're not the Grim Reaper. They're not going to take me down. Guarantee it. So let me just enjoy my freaking salty fries. Thank you.
Thanks. I think that's like a huge win is, first of all, listening to our Denver, by the way, was a nutritionist, the dietitian, that gave us those wellness habit tips that Syd was sharing. But then that was episode 52. Did I say that? Did I say that 2 times?
52, yeah. No, you didn't say it. You're
but
good.
Then I was just going to mention that. Fuck.
Oh, no. Did you lose your train of thought?
Yeah, hold on.
Wait for it.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about how
what we're going to do. Remember? Listening to our episode with Lindsay, Dr. Lexi and Dr. Lindsay in episode 116 or 115, where they talk about like not commenting on people's bodies or weight loss because it could be due to anxiety, could be due to a lot of other things, I think is also huge. So I'm working on that. For me, I even have a hard time sharing that I'm going through a cutting phase because I don't want people to think this is how you lose weight, because I prepped my body for 7 months to do what I just did. Yeah. And it's like, that's why I always am talking about reverse dieting on my stories and my Instagram, because I'm like, that's actually where like the win happens. And that's how you actually can lose weight successfully. So I have a really hard time like opening up to people that I have to do cardio a few times a week. Cause then everyone else thinks, oh, I have to do cardio, or like whoever's watching my content, you know, people want to copy, listening. And I'm like, oh, like I'm in a little bit of a deficit. Okay, they better go in a deficit. It's like, no, because you're probably not in the right spot to do that. And so I have a hard time. I like don't know how, like if I ever want to sell like a cutting guide or something, I'm going to be like, fuck, I don't want everyone to think you can just do it like this. I know. So I have really, like I'm struggling internally with that right now. I'm telling you right now, but like
make it maybe like an internal piece of like, once you do this, like this habit, then you have to go through, and then you can get access to the other one. Exactly.
Oh, like it's locked. It's cute.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that.
Anyway, really good conversation today. Actually, like I really like that. I was gonna say that flew by.
Yeah, it did.
Holy crap! Great. Straight Cannon moments.
Listeners, Straight Cannon moment. You got one for us?
Hashtag Straight Cannon moments. I actually have 2. I'm gonna read them both.
I am actually had a sweat stash this entire episode. So
I know I can actually see it. I'm not gonna lie, but I thought maybe it was just a little bit of highlighter until you just said that.
You guys, I don't know what is going on.
And your cute little freckles.
Okay, I wore freckles today because
they're cute though.
I have acne, so I was like, we're just gonna hide it. My makeup didn't go on well, so I just tried to cover everything with my fake freckles.
You look cute.
Thanks.
Okay. Hashtag Straight Cannon moment. So I'm the office manager for a medical office in Delray Beach, Florida, and often I go to dinners with my doctor. Okay, so like she's a medical director. Oh my God. Office manager. I should really not say names. Okay, here we go. No job titles. Tonight was the Morton's Steakhouse in Boca Raton, and as I was waiting for my car at the valet, chatting with a very renowned cardiothoracic surgeon, the speaker of the night, my car pulls up, my Bluetooth links, and on full blast is Sophie saying that she has to take a shit, and Syd answering that she doesn't want a patty on her couch. My soul literally left my body as I scrambled to pause the episode. He chuckled. I awkwardly waved goodnight, got in my car and left. I'm pretty sure even the valet was embarrassed for me because he made a weird yikes face, and I can't even describe. Oh, I love you ladies. All love that you're all about. Can't wait to see what else y'all have in store. Hashtag Straight Candid. That was cute. I just had to share that one because I read it and I just thought it was hilarious and adorable, and I love that they're from Florida. So we love you. All right, last one. Hashtag straight candid moment. I have a straight candid moment for ya. This happened a few years ago when I was single, lived in the city and was going out, etc. Now I'm a dog mom in the suburbs, living in a townhome with my boyfriend. LOL. Anyway, I was casually seeing this guy and often we'd run into each other at the bars and meet up later to hook up. One weekend I was home from the bar and I'm a sleepy drunk. I asked him to come over and he took a 20-minute Uber to me, but I was passed out so hard and he couldn't get in and had to Uber home. The very next weekend I invited him over again after the bar and he made me promise I would stay up and was even Ubering over with a pizza. I knew I couldn't stand him up again, but last thing I remember was him texting me that he's at the stoplight by my apartment. Next morning, I have a million missed texts and calls. I did it again. I literally felt so awful. Not only did he Uber over, but he brought a pizza. He was pissed and told me that he sat on the curb outside my apartment eating the pizza while waiting for another Uber to take him home. I feel literally so bad. What's funny is he risked it again and was over a few weeks later. I stayed up that time.
Okay, first of all, he had a pizza to at least
Also,
like keep him company.
I hope that's your boyfriend because he was obsessed.
You know when we were talking about
Last
episode where like you will know they will give you effort. That's effort. Okay.
Dude, even if it was for the good, you know what? It's like, honey, that's good shit right there.
Still effort.
I just thought that was hilarious. I read that. I'm like,
I'm not gonna
hilarious.
lie. I did that in college one time. I was invited a guy over like booty call and fell asleep. One time.
And you're like, he couldn't get in.
No, I just woke up the next day. I think maybe he might have still been at the bar and he was like, and I was like, are you coming? He's like, yeah, I'm on my way. Like, I'll leave. And then he was like, wait, like, what's your, and I just like,
never responded. Yeah. I actually got banned from ordering from Topper's Pizza because I fell asleep so many times and they would come to your door and knock and they're not like allowed to leave it in the hallway.
Really?
Yeah. And then I would just fall asleep on accident.
Oopsie. Toppers needs to start leaving pizza in the hallway because like if I was the next apartment drunk ass coming home, you bet your ass I'd pick that up.
Oh my God, yeah. One time I fell asleep with it in my bed though. Like I slept on the pizza box. Yeah.
One time?
Oh, brutal.
We're talking about just drunk college
like one time.
But one time I was walking home from the bar in college and there was a pizza delivery guy and he had tons of pizzas in his truck. And he was at a stop and he was ringing and I noticed that like, they weren't answering him. I'm like, oh no, are they not answering? And I was like started to flirt with this pizza man.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I can help you out. Like I can help you out. And this was me by myself. Like I always walk back by myself. I don't know. I need to stop doing that. But he was like, okay, how about this? If they don't answer in 5 minutes, I'll give it to you. So I sat in his pizza car waiting
with the man
with him. Yep. Just chilling. And then he's like, all right, you can have it. And I grabbed it and I walked home and I was literally taking Snapchat videos. You know, that was the thing. So I still have like Snapchat memories. It pops up.
Of course you did.
Pops up every now and then. My Snapchat memories.
They're scary.
If someone got a hold of that.
They're literally like, no, they're accessible for sure. Like seriously, like how do you think people get their cloud hacked?
Yeah, well, literally, I get like Snapchat code text like every day. You know, like here's yours. I'm like, someone's trying to fucking get in there, and if they did, I would probably be so embarrassed because I would like, you know, when you're cringy when you're younger, like especially in college, like that. Too. Oh, my outfits, my eyeliner. I would like sing in the car, like.
I was embarrassed of nothing.
Party in the USA, I put my hands up, playing my song, and I would like send it to my boyfriend and ask if it's good. You know?
Oh my God, you're disgusting. It's literally disgusting. Okay, I have one final story of like college because we were in the hallway and we came home. It was me and a few other of my girlfriends, and I remember we heard this huge thud. Someone threw something out of their room and we were like, what was that? We walk over and it's a box and the box is everywhere. It's sex toys. Like, I mean like a whip, a choke, all this stuff. And we were like, what the? And literally I bet you like, I think the girlfriend came over, gave it to him because I think she like cheated because there was a little note and it was like, I'm so sorry for what I did, but like, I'll make it up to you if you know what I mean. So we took the whip and we were just whacking each other with it in the
like
and he was probably looking
bitch.
through his little peephole like, God damn it. Like these, and it was like 3 a.m. People were pissed. I know. But we thought we were hilarious.
And I said, toy basket.
There was a video of me and I'm like, when you find the neighbor's mail, you use it. It's like, go to bed. Like seriously, go to your room and go to bed. Stop.
Oh, I love college. We should have a whole episode.
We should
stories.
actually, honestly, it's about damn time.
It's about damn time.
Remember, rate and review, please, if you can. We love you guys. We appreciate you for staying this long. And honestly, if you have any other good ideas and things like that you want to see next, like send them our way. Also, coming up in May, we have some big guests and we're literally going to LA. So you listen this long, I'm telling you this, there's a secret. We're flying to LA. It's a secret. So guess what? We're going to go like get people on the pod. So
yeah, I'm going to have fresh hair.
So. Yeah. So I need to text Christina about that too. Anyway.
Bye you guys. Follow me at Candid Soph.
I'm at Candid Syd.
And we have at TayTayKK. Just kidding. At TayTayK. And obviously us at Straight Candid Podcast. Y'all, we love you.
We got good content coming. So get in there and
stay
get
tuned.
following.
Share your friends.
Bye. Bye.
I don't know why I am so drenched.
Because the freaking AC isn't on. Oh my
God. Did I look so bad that entire time? I was just soaking wet.
I'm like wet on my back.